Couple of things I want to point out. I did go in and update all the grades, so they're updated. So what you see is what you got. So you need to, some of y'all are on my list of parental contacts because y'all ain't doing nothing. So you need to make sure you do that. One of the things that disappointed me was how some of you answer questions with a half effort, and I graded it accordingly. If a question asks you, the last question that we did, so biodiversity, I had one, some of you looked up the biodiversity folks. This is environmental science, and this is the one science course that directly relates to your everyday living. And we try to incorporate that as often as possible. So the biodiversity question asks you to actually sit out in your backyard on your front step or something like that and observe nature. Just have a quiet meditative moment and see what goes by. Okay, so you would, and then you didn't have to figure out the scientific names for anything, but take notice of what exactly exists in your environment. And I had one person just give me a textbook definition of all the animals and plants in the eastern region, and that's not what I asked you to do. Okay, so when you don't answer the way you're asked to do it, it's going to be graded accordingly. So take the time to look at the way the question is, what the question is asking you to do, and answer it that way. Okay. Um, Same thing with the kudzu question. I had so many people, and I distinctly said to you 2 sentences for each of those questions, and some of y'all gave me bulleted information. I asked one person, Isabella, are you in today? One person gave me a picture, lovely picture, it was beautiful. And everybody else just gave me, little textbook answers to the question. I did want to, so if you haven't done it yet, um, and I did have one person, a couple of you did a really good research on it. So we're talking about invasive species. And kudzu, again, is something local, something native to your area, something you should know about what it is, and why it's doing what it did, where did it come from. And be aware of your environment. The problem with this generation is we are so into ourselves. We on our phones all the time. We have no clue that immediately affects you. So just be environmentally aware. That's what we're trying to get you to do this year. Be environmentally aware. All right. So this was one person to acknowledge the fact that they've got kudzu growing like crazy in their backyard. And I applauded them for sharing that experience. Be aware of your environment. Y'all have this growing in your neighborhood. Know what it is. Know why it's there, why it's covering up the poles, the trees, and everything else. And this picture is covering up a house because it's an invasive species. So this is to get you to understand, what does it mean by invasive species? It's invaded the territory. Things that are native, it is not native to our country, but they brought it in and it took over. They brought it in for a reason, and that reason didn't exactly work, but once they got it here, it just took over. So this is how you were supposed to answer the question. Full paragraph, full expect. And I said a picture would be nice. One person gave me a picture. Okay. So like I wanted to do gallery walk with your symbiosis projects, and even that, some of you just said, I'm just going to do a paper report. I barely put the pictures on there. They were disappointing, to say the least. They were disappointing. So I'm saying this so that in the future you give more of an effort, and because we do have projects, quite a few. And again, this is interactive course where you are going to interact with your environment as often as possible. And so um, try to be a little more enthusiastic with your answers, please. Okay, that's what is expected of you. In case I didn't say that at the beginning of the year, you are expected to give full answers, not Chat GPT, where you just copied and pasted an answer, because I saw a couple of those. And please don't think I don't know the difference, but try to be a little more involved with what is being asked of you, because again, this is your life, this is your environment, you live on this planet. We are trying to get you to know. The more you know, education is the key to everything. If you know about your environment, you're more likely to protect it. Okay, you're more likely to get involved with the decisions, because a lot of environmental things have to be voted on. Okay, there are laws that are involved in protecting the environment. You need to be aware of what they are. Okay, so be a little more aware and not just try to give me textbook answers to everything, because I can tell the difference. All right, all right, that's my soapbox for the morning. All right, what I want you to do right now is go to Canvas and go to, I think I already have it open. I'm going to click so many times. I have too many my tabs open. That might be slowing my computer down too. We need to look at ecological succession. Okay. Oh, and I do have one more um, thing I need to share with you all. Let me pull it up first. And before we go on, because we are almost at this is the last unit in this module. So we will start going over things. In fact, I might just wait. And folks, we are going to do gizmos. So you need to make sure, and I don't want to keep going back 500 times to see if you did it, because I have looked at this one. Yesterday was the last time I was looking at that. So grades have gone in for that. If you didn't complete it, the grade is what it is. If you didn't turn in a worksheet, then you got the grade for just doing the score in the thing. If you just did the thing without the worksheet, that's what you got. Because I cannot just keep running back and forth to log in. All right. But you are given time in class to do these activities. I don't know what y'all are doing when you log in, but you need to do the activity when it's assigned in class. Be focused on that. I know you got other classes and you want to get those done, but you need to use their time to do that. When you're in class here and you're doing a lab, you need to do that at that time, because I got a lot of you who had like 13 and 14 out of 91. There were 91 points to that lab, to that assignment. And some of you just didn't do it at all, or just went logged in for 2 seconds, and I don't know what you did, but you did not finish it. Okay. So going forward, next time we do a gizmo, make sure you do it. Stay with it. Use the time that we have in class to do it. Okay. Get it done, because they really don't take more than maybe 2 classes to get those done. It really doesn't. And I've been checking on this one for a week, and I'm not going to do that anymore. Okay. So when we do a gizmo, 2 days max, and that's it. And I'm doing all this talking because my computer seems to be frozen. Again, I got too many tabs open. I'm clicking too much, too much, too much. But take a few minutes to look at the module that says ecological succession. That's what we're doing next. All right, there's graphs with this. So read everything. So next few minutes, everybody's reading. When I look at Go Guardian, I want to see everybody looking at ecological succession. And hopefully my computer will get its act together in a minute. Okay, well, it'll show me GoGuardian. It just won't show me Canvas. What I wanted to show you was a copy of the worksheet. Um, and I'll actually just show you that when we do our review. But there's rules for food chains and food webs that you absolutely must follow. And some of you, in spite of the fact that the Gizmo gave you a picture of what to write, you all did not transfer that information correctly. But I'll get back to that in a few. All right, so read, I'm going to do attendance. Look, like I said, I'm looking at GoGuardian and I'm looking at me, and I should be looking at folks in Canvas. That's how I know you're here. In Canvas, reading ecological succession. When I don't see ecological succession, you must be doing something else. Hmm. Just about to mark this person absent. Everybody should be in Canvas reading ecological succession. Still don't see that. What happened there? And you're also supposed to be on camera. School rules, not my rule, school rule. If you logged in, you should be on camera. Okay. Which work are you trying to find? You should be in Canvas. Can you not get into Canvas, Chance? Give me 1 second. You can, but you're not finding that. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, all I asked you to do, I'm going to copy it. And all right, there's the link. Let me see if that opens to what it's supposed to open to. Yeah. All right, so that's a working link. It should take you to ecological succession in Canvas. Let me know if that did not work. All right, that's for the benefit of the two people I just let in. Good morning, good morning. We're in Canvas. There's a couple of videos in there, so go ahead and watch those too. A couple of y'all still on the home page. Everybody should be in Canvas by now. So somebody else had not Max. Running landing got kicked out. Where'd he go? Hmm. And again, the 9 weeks is up in 2 weeks. If you have anything missing, outstanding, if you need me to reopen something that is closed, you need to let me know so that some of these zeros can disappear. Because once the 9 weeks is up, these grades, we're not going back to these. Start afresh next semester or next quarter. So if you need to get caught up on something, now's the time to do it. I think the internet is messing with y'all. Some of y'all that I know are in or being kicked out. Hmm. Okay. All right. But a lot of times in your modules, they show clippets of a video. So I'm going to show the whole video for the one with the guy who talks too fast. And in just a second, as soon as I open this assignment for somebody. I don't know what's going on with my module page, but it opens everything opens but that. All right, if you have not done your symbiosis project, it is now open until tomorrow. Oh, wait a minute, it might be the whole. Okay, it is the whole. So the one in that's unusual. The one in Canvas is the entire video. So we'll just take a moment to make sure that you're watching that. And I've also saved it to the playlist. I was looking at the time on it. All right, so the first thing we have to know is, and when you're looking up things, you need to look up ecological succession. It's a process of change in species over time. Okay, so in a community, that means in a given location, the type of plants and animals that exist there sometimes change over time, and they change for various reasons. Um, and there's consequences for change. So, like what we're experiencing now, this time of year, certain places have fires and hurricanes and earthquakes, and these things change the environment. All right, so if you haven't watched this, we're going to watch this together.
You remember back in the days right after the Permian Triassic extinction event with that giant flaming asteroid and those methane explosions killed almost all the organisms on the planet? No, of course you don't, because that happened 252 million years ago and mammals weren't a thing yet. But that's kind of the point of this episode. That asteroid was a disturbance to the ecology of the planet. The flora and fauna and soils were largely wiped out, leaving a blank canvas for the organisms
Pause it
that
for a minute. It looks like it's glitching. It's not glitching on my side, but what I'm looking at on the share screen says it's glitching. So let me give it a minute to catch itself. And maybe slow him down a little bit because he talks way too fast. All right, let's try that.
survived, and there weren't really all that many of them to fill in as they could. What happened after the Permian-Triassic disturbance is a dramatic example of ecological succession. How the makeup of a community changes over time, starting from like the day after a disturbance. Just usually the disturbance is a little less disturbing. The study of how ecological communities
All right,
change
I'm gonna
doesn't just look
pause that and see if, and I just closed out the other one, but let me see if I can get it back. Let me stop sharing for a moment, because that one is glitching really bad. But if I show the same one in YouTube instead, so that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Do you remember back in the days right after the Permian-Triassic extinction event with that giant flaming asteroid, those methane explosions killed almost all the organisms on the planet? No, of course you don't, because that happened 252 million years ago and mammals weren't a thing yet. But that's kind of the point of this episode. That asteroid was a disturbance to the ecology of the planet. The flora and fauna and soils were largely wiped out, leaving a blank canvas for the organisms that survived, and there weren't really all that many of them to fill in as they could. What happened after the Permian-Triassic disturbance is a dramatic example of ecological succession. How the makeup of a community changes over time, starting from like the day after a disturbance. Just usually the disturbance is a little less disturbing. The study of how ecological communities change doesn't just look at huge long periods of time or the effects of some apocalypse. Succession can easily happen over a season in a park or in just a few days in a patch of land as small as your garden. And this might come as a surprise, but disturbances that shake up the status quo within a community actually serve to make that community better in the long run. Because much like life and the entire universe, succession is all about change, and change is how a universe full of nothing but hydrogen came to include a planet full of life. Disturbances happen in ecosystems all the time, every day. A wildfire, a flood, a windstorm. After these unpredictable events, ecologists kept seeing predictable, even orderly changes in the ecosystem. How life deals with these disturbances is an important key to understanding ecosystems. First, let's note that a tree falling in the forest and a comet falling in the forest, while both disturbances, are different levels of disturbance. Likewise, there are a couple of different types of succession. The first type, the one that happens after the asteroid hits or the glacier plows over the landscape, or the forest fire/volcano burns the verdant ecosystem into pure desolation. That's called primary succession, when organisms populate an area for the first time. The jumping off point for primary succession is your basic, lifeless, post-apocalyptic wasteland. You're probably thinking, that place sounds terrible. Who would ever want to live there? Well, actually, there is one tremendous advantage to desolate wastelands.
Is it still glitching on your side? Because I have one screen going and he's going just fine, but I'm looking at the share screen and he is glitching. Is that what you see? Somebody type yes, no. Okay. If you watched it on your own, would it be glitching? Okay. All right. I'm gonna let you just I want rather than share it, I'm going to just let you watch this on your own, but do watch it. Um, we do, let me get to some pictures here. All right, I'd rather you watch it on your own and not because the share screen is looking like it's annoying. And so take the time to make sure you're watching it, and I'll get back with you in just a second. Again, the same video is in your playlist on your YouTube playlist. This is so weird. Okay. My computer is making me crazy this morning. Okay. Oh, yes. Um, some of you were absent yesterday. We did a Nearpod, so yes, that needs to be done. That was on invasive species. So let's look at that first. All right, so two things I want to share with you. If I can. Sharing has become such a lovely challenge. All right. Um, Nearpod. Okay, let me look up Nearpod first. While I have this one up, let's do. All right, so I added this to your to-do list, and this is going to be. So you're gonna probably have to refresh your page to see, but it's on your to-do list, ecological succession. And we do have a few minutes, so you can get started on this. So there's a worksheet, several questions. It's going to take you to a website. I don't know if mine will share when I do that, but we'll see. All right, so it should take you to this website. Okay. All right. And you're just going to follow the interactive questions as you go along. Um, you have some things, but you're going to answer the questions. Let me go back, come out of it. Okay. And there we go. All right. So, download this worksheet. There's some what to pick, and then it asks you some questions. So it's an interactive activity. Then it tells you to click on secondary succession. So there are two types of succession, primary and secondary. And it defines it for you, and then you can fill in all of these blanks as you go along. But the answers are on the website. So download this first. And then use it to get you to, yeah, let me go to GoGuardian. Let me stop sharing for a minute and go to GoGuardian and get that. So click on it, stay there. Let me go and tell them that this is okay. Like I said, we're having a good day today. All right, come here. All right, so um, go out and come back in again and see if it allows you to. Um, give me 1 second. All right, see if it will do that one. Got two people who are trying, and it's still saying blocked. Try the second link. Try the worksheet link. And if it's still blocked, I'll send it to Mr. Williams and see if he can get it unblocked for me. Still blocked. But we're gonna get it unblocked by next class. So hang on. So don't lose that. So if you downloaded the worksheet, keep it downloaded, and we'll get back to it. But we are going to do this activity. Like I said, today is a wonderful day. The things working and not working. Mm, yeah. No, it doesn't matter how many times I say aloud. Um, mm, 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 mm. There was a way for me to do this, but it's not working. What does that do? All right, give me 1 second. All right. Let's see what happens now. Say, okay, I have created that. All right, let's see what happens. All right, can somebody try to log into that again? Because now it's on my allow list. Yep. Don't try the Napier one. Try the second link, the Bioman. Still saying blocked, huh? But I put it on, it's on my list. I'm looking at it. It says 16 is updated. Blocked for your class. Whoa. um, how do I get it to say scene, blocked by scene? Wow. Okay, so that's not gonna work either. All right, I tried. That did not work. That's too bad. All right, well, just stick with um, the Canvas site for now. And I'll get this worked out by next class. And I do want you to do this. No, so let's go back to the Nearpod discussion. If you haven't finished your Nearpod, let's stick with that. So let me give the code for those of you who weren't at your field trip yesterday. And that's a better thing too. Does somebody have the code handy before I take me a minute to look it up? Everything is acting so slow this morning. Amelia, do you have the code for the Nearpod? Camelia. I'm checking. Okay. All right. But I'm gonna make sure everybody has the code for the Nearpod. It's like some of you were, a good handful of you were missing yesterday. Okay, I got it. That's okay. Um, okay. Okay, folks. Yeah, a couple of people are getting kicked off. Like I said, something's going on today. People are getting kicked off. Somebody else just got kicked out. Whole page went wacky. I got kicked off of the share. Okay, so this is the code for the Nearpod. So yes, we need to get that finished. So let's do that since about 3 people got kicked out and they're coming back. All right, so go to Nearpod. I'm gonna try and share it again. See if I don't get kicked out. Oops, what is going on? What is it doing? Why is it doing this? 2, yeah. All right, can I get the Nearpod? All right, there it is. Yeah, we were trying to get, there's a couple of people getting kicked out and you're back in. All right, that's the Nearpod. And I'm clicking on it. Yeah. Okie dokie. Oh, all right. So a lot of you still need to get clicked into that. Let me see if my share will stay up this time. All right, so the code is in the chat. And once the share screen comes up, the code will be at the top. So let's just get this finished. See if that'll work today. Something works today. All right, so a lot of you are logged in and some of you were out yesterday. So this is the Nearpod, and I will open a folder for this. The grades for this stay in Nearpod, so I have to transfer it from here to Canvas. So I will do that today. So again, they ask you several questions. Please make sure you answer all the questions because your grade, whether it's 100% or not, depends on you answering the questions. I think this one, and again, healthy, sustainable ecosystem. This is what we're trying to look at throughout the whole year. How do we keep our environment healthy? Sustainable means it's going to last not only through your lifetime, but through your children's lifetime, through your children's children's lifetime. So these are things that you need to be thinking about. This is self-paced, so while I'm going through it, it is set up for you to answer the question. So you do need to make a post. Yeah, people are getting kicked. Like I said, today's a weird day. Nothing is working the way we want it to work. But we're gonna hang in there. We're gonna hang in there. We're gonna get something done today. All right, so got a lot of people who've answered this question. I'm going to move on. So it says, what are some examples of ecosystem that you would consider pristine and beautiful? A lot of people asked me yesterday, did it matter? And examples could have been whatever ecosystem you were talking about. It looks like a lot of you picked a rainforest because rainforests are extremely beautiful. So if you've looked at other ecosystems, the good morning one was me. So we're going to make that go because I was just testing to see. I needed to be able to get through this in order to get to the next one. So I just kept saying good morning so that I could get to the next slide. All right. So again, participate in the discussions. That's for me, it tells me who's doing what, who answered what. And on that question, imagine that their life 5,000 years ago, at this point in history, how much of the world's land do you think had been some way transformed by humans? 38% of you have not answered yet. So answer, please. All right. I think there was a slide 22 that asked you to look at if it took you to it doesn't let you advance until you answer the question. So you've got to answer all of the questions. I'm surprised it let me go forward because I didn't look at all the slides. Again, only 16, there's 30 something people in the class and only 16 of you have posted an answer. There should be a good morning here for me. That's me. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna stop talking. Yes, please do it again because it is gonna record a score. And I don't want you not to have a score. All right, so let's just get everybody working on this one. All right, I don't know when I stopped sharing, it kicked me out. So if some of y'all got kicked out of the Zoom, this time I got kicked out of the Zoom only because I stopped sharing. But time is up. So